That?
You guys do an intro for the last one or no?
Not really, no. We just went ahead with purpose and that.
We're
Just quickly,
right into the fact that we're puddling. Right. Welcome to the puddle. All right.
welcome to the Huddle Puddle, guys.
All
Matt's
right.
not with us at the moment because he's having problems with his Wi-Fi. And I'm the
Yeah.
one supposed to be in Mexico with the problems.
Yeah,
But no problems
exactly.
here. No problems here, thanks to Elon and Starlink. So
When did you get Starlink?
I got it about 2 months ago. It's awesome. Really
Oh
awesome. And
yeah.
we can even go out to the jungle and have Wi-Fi there. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Really awesome.
My it's funny because mine at my brewery here also all of a sudden goes as well. So it's funny to see that all the way in Mexico, you have the best Wi-Fi out
Best
of all.
Wi-Fi.
all
Best
of-
Wi-Fi of the Huddle Puddle.
yes. All right. So what is today's word? What are we
Today's
talking?
word is today's word is purpose.
Purpose.
Yes.
Awesome.
Today's word is purpose.
And what was
Thanks.
the artist?
Thanks again to my boy Tix.
Tix. Yeah, he did the impact one also, right? That's behind
Yeah,
you.
he's gonna do all of them for us. How fun was it, by the way, having Tyler and Ryan on the other day?
That was awesome. I can't wait to relive that again and see some of the clips that we got out of that one.
Yeah,
So
I haven't listened to the full podcast yet, but they were so awesome here. Honestly, Tyler is always full of energy. She's like a little sister to me. I've known her since she was about 16. Full of energy, full of life, always happy, always interacting with people. She's awesome. And then Ryan, who I'd never met before, is just absolutely incredible. He's got the biggest heart you can ever imagine. And I feel like I've gained a brother for life in Ryan. So thank you, Ryan and Tyler. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
love it. I can't wait to see the full podcast and listen to it as well.
Yeah, same. Same.
I end up watching it twice. So
I did you. I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah.
I'm waiting for
So
it. I'm waiting for it to be. I'm waiting for it to be on YouTube.
yeah, it should be dropping very soon.
Yeah,
So
I'll
purpose.
watch it on YouTube with the rest of you guys and girls.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and share our podcast and share what the word is. So purpose. Let's get into it, Joe.
Yeah, so I realized actually, I mean, obviously there's a lot going on our Instagram page, but I realized we realized that it's not going to really play out what we're trying to do here until we sort of get the message across using these podcasts, right?
Mhm.
Uh, So slowly, keep tuned, girls and guys and girls. It will play out in front of your eyes. Obviously, listening to these podcasts will really help. So yeah, purpose. So look, I've been always grateful and always fortunate to have an incredible life. Traveling the world, doing things that people don't always get to do. Um, but I realized that I didn't feel kind of fulfilled. And that's, I realized because I haven't really felt a purpose. Yeah, okay. I think that, I mean, our last word was impact. I feel like I tried to make an impact on the people close to me by introducing them to books to read and maybe talk about my ayahuasca experiences and my travels and things like that. But I'd really want to kind of, how do I branch that out to a wider audience, right? And I went into my last ayahuasca ceremonies a few months ago at Soltara, these guys. And basically, when we go into ceremony, it's good to have like a solid intention. Now, I've done many ayahuasca ceremonies before without a strong intention, right? It was a lot more about curiosity. I've never been a religious person, even a spiritual. People call me spiritual, but I've never really been spiritual until I started going to these ceremonies out of curiosity, basically, because it's so unknown, right? Don't know if are we going to another realm? Are we just hallucinating? Do you know what I mean? altering our reality kind of thing. So it was mainly about curiosity, and I've never had a strong intention, but this time around, I did have a strong intention, a very strong intention, and it was kind of finding my purpose, something that's gonna kind of fulfill me, right? Because I've had like a friend of mine talks about how you have these buckets. You have a financial bucket that if that's kind of near to full, then that creates a better life for yourself and the people around you. You have a happiness bucket, right? But you also kind of need a fulfillment bucket, right? Because you probably only get that kind of full happiness if your fulfillment bucket is also close to being full. So yeah, I went into with a strong intention about purpose. And I came out of there, a lot of things to process when you come out of ayahuasca. It's not just straightforward, you don't just get all the answers. It takes some processing. And then I went to Burning Man a month or so later. Now, at Burning Man this year was different for me. It's always different, but it was very different for me and our friends. So because we had that Huddle Puddle chariot built for this year, which you can all see at the bottom of our Instagram page. So that's where this kind of vision really started, right? So we drive around the Huddle Puddle chariot, me and my friends, creates a lot of joy. We have speakers on the back playing music. We have coolers to give out cold. Because when you're in the desert, right, not everybody's got cold drinks, cold water, cold fruit, frozen fruit, ice lollies, ice creams. Because we're in the desert, not everybody has the facilities we have at our camp to have things frozen and stuff like that. So taking out these coolers really helps other people's experience because, they're interacting with us. We're giving them cold drinks, frozen fruit, stuff like that. And it can really, really like make a difference, basically. So I was like, well, look, I come out of Burning Man again. I was like, Burning Man's given me a sense of purpose. But it's only for 2 weeks of the year. Okay, so how do I take that and move it into the real world? Where I thought, well, how do I get this? Can I get this chariot over to Tulum? Now, if I was in London, it would be difficult to ride a chariot around the streets of London, right? Or the
Yeah.
streets of
Yeah.
New York. But
Probably
here
have
in
to pay a permit and everything for that too.
Yeah, I think we still need a permit here, but the roads are much smaller. There's not highways really. They're much smaller roads. You've got a beach road, and I'm like, well, I speak to Ali, who's amazing, Ali at Monster Chariots, who built the chariot for us, and I'm like, well, can you ship it over here? So we did some research, and it is arriving in a couple of weeks.
All right.
3 weeks, it should be here.
Is the
Hopefully.
poll coming
The
also?
pole come in. The pole is not going to be able to be as tall as that
Okay.
because I'll end up killing myself on the electrical
Yeah,
cables.
exactly.
Yeah. So it's not going to be able to be as tall as that. So then I thought, well, okay, I can now take this Huddle Puddle chariot to the festivals here. I'm friends with all the owners of the festivals. Day Zero, we're friends with Martin Warrior, a lot of the DJs, the beach clubs, Khan Hotel. So now we can go to these events and kind of do what we do at Burning Man, right? Give out a few sort of drinks and stuff like that. I realized at places like Day Zero, now obviously loads of tourists come in for these festivals, right? And you have tables, people have VIP tables where they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on tables for alcohol and stuff like that. But that's really confined to the people that kind of got money, right? Because you're not allowed in that section unless you have an expensive table. And then you look around, and in the other areas, you've got all the locals now. For the locals, they do get a discount on the tickets, but it's not cheap for them to sort of have a drink. And well, even water's quite expensive for a lot of the locals, right? So I figured, well, if I have the Huddle Puddle chariot, do you know what I mean? In with the crowd, then I can give out drinks and beers and things like that to people. Obviously, I'd work out some sort of deal with the clubs and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Where we
Yeah.
get, do you know what I mean? I'll give out water and beers, and that would be cool. So now we create a bit of awareness in these festivals. But well, when I say in these festivals, hopefully people then come onto our page, listen to our podcast, and get a bit of awareness on what we're trying to do here, more than just going to events, right? And it can now take the chariot. I ask for community or community members to come out and do a beach cleanup, right? Or a jungle cleanup where there's a hell of a lot of trash. Yeah. When DJs come in to perform these events that are all friends of ours and big and influencers, amazing influence out there, whether it's healers of the world or party people of the world or poker players of the world that all come here to Tulum. Well, I'll take them out on a clear up, or I take them out to give kind of the poorer people and the underprivileged kids of Tulum toys or whatever it is, treats, frozen treats, that kind of thing, and basically spread happiness. Obviously, we'll be playing music, and it will kind of almost like we do at Burning Man. You get back what you put in, right? So I thought it's nice that if people are coming to Tulum, yes, we're going to have fun, but let's do something for the community here before we go and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah. And that got me thinking, how do you track that? How do we kind of make a system where, okay, come out on a community driven work, whatever you want to call it. I don't like to call it work because it is fun. It's fun and it brings enjoyment to a lot of people. Um, and then how can we sort of pay sort of back to these people, right? So we can give them guest lists to our events, yeah, for coming out on a clear up. And then I'm thinking, like, I'm big in crypto. Now, the beautiful thing about blockchain is things can be tracked on the blockchain. So now, if you have a QR code, everyone will have a QR code, so they'll come, they'll scan the QR code, and now they're there for a 3 hour beach cleanup, and now that allocates them. It is tracked on the blockchain, and now that allocates them a certain coin with. I won't go into this too much because it's not quite ready yet. We're working on something super amazing. So stay tuned, stay tuned. You'll hear a lot more about this. But essentially, you will receive a certain amount of a coin, and then that will allow you to buy drinks in a club or give you a guest list or whatever it is in the events that we do later. And obviously, with these DJs coming into town and everything, it will create a lot of awareness to their audience as well as ours.
That's awesome. I mean, and so you're bringing that technology to also like help in the real world instead of just being in the digital technology and
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. One of the biggest issues, in my opinion, that the crypto world have, it's very, very much, they're very disconnected from the real world, right?
sure.
Everyone's building these amazing projects, but the community's only really online, right? So a lot of these companies will reward people for doing work online, right? You'll be rewarded with some of their coin. Okay, but it's kind of disconnected from from reality. Nobody's really using these technologies, right? People are doing online work to receive some of this free coin, like it's called an airdrop, right?
Mhm.
And really, they're just hoping that goes up in value and they can sell it and make a profit further down the line,
Yeah.
right? I'm thinking it's such a disconnect from the real world, and nobody's really using it. Yeah, so how can we create? Well, we can create a community here. So we've got a strong community here in Tulum, right? Now like 2 million people at the moment come to Tulum as tourists. A lot about for the Mayan ruins and things like that, a lot to party. And now how can we sort of almost give them a purpose as well, right? So I realized that I've now found a purpose. I can help. I live here in Tulum. I feel like I'm slightly disconnected from the locals that live here. So I want to bridge that gap, right? By going to meet them, going to schools, going to orphanages, going
Mhm.
just on the streets with the huddle puddle, creating some enjoyment. And that's how I'm going to start interacting with the locals, find out what they're missing. Look, what I realized is that we go to a nice restaurant here or an event, and there's the locals are living very close to us. We're all in these luxury accommodations and things, and they're living in shacks 5 minutes from where I live. And I just feel like I really want to, do you know what I mean? Start integrating a lot, start communicating with them. Right now, I don't speak very good Spanish, so
Okay.
I need to work on
Gotta
that.
work on it a little bit.
I am doing salsa lessons. So
Okay.
that's going to
That's
help me
cool.
correct a bit. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool to enter. So the thing about the digital world, the blockchain world, it could be very scary to someone who, maybe doesn't they like the real world people like that have never dealt with it. It's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to get involved with that. What would that do for me? But like, wait, if you bridge that gap and find a purpose of like, oh wait, this could be something that works together with real world and digital world.
Yeah, we say the real world as if the crypto people aren't in the real world. They are in the real world, but
No, but what I mean
no,
by the real
no, I
world is
agree
like
with you. I
the
agree with you.
digital
They're
world, right? Like
disconnected. Yeah, the
that all
digital
to
world,
me just
exactly.
this sounds like, oh, that's only like I can't make any money or I can't do anything with it because it's digital. And it's like, no, it's still a currency, it's still an asset, it's still something that is used to do other things in real life. Just like it just happens to be numbers, like zeros and ones, and a way to make it, I guess, more tangible or more like able to. I don't even know how to say the word. It's
I know
like,
what you mean. I know what you
yeah,
mean. I don't know the word you're looking for either,
yeah, yeah. I'm
but
trying to. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm just
it's
like,
also the onboarding process is a bit scary for people,
yeah,
right? They don't know how to set up wallets, and even if they do, you know what I mean? It's quite scary for people. So we've already mentioned how Luca Nets is onboarding people to crypto in a fun way without you really knowing. Well, we're going to try and do the same here, right?
yeah,
So it'll be very easy. You meet at the Huddle Puddle, wherever the meetup is, whether it's for a cleanup or whether it's for an event. Yeah,
hmm,
and it's very simple. You'll be able to scan something, we'll set up a wallet for you. Yeah, very simply. And we'll put some, do you know what I mean? Once we got done the clear up or whatever it is, or been at an event, we'll put some coin in there for you so you can use that at an event or something. And it'll be very, very simple. You won't be
yeah,
used direct immediately. You won't have to use your own money to buy any. It will just be a small amount go in for your help with some community work, and then you can go and spend that, right?
yeah,
At one of our partnered clubs or events or whatever it is. And now you get the feel for it. All right. And
yeah.
now
So
it's
you
not
just like
scary
you
because
dip
you
your
haven't put your
toe.
own money in something that you can go and lose, right?
Hmm. So you basically have
Um,
dipped your toe. You dipped your toe into it, and now it's like, oh,
exactly.
okay. Now I'm playing a
This
game.
is real now. This is real. It's not just in this digital world that I know nothing about.
Yeah,
You know, I've actually earned this and now I can spend it.
yeah, that's
Um,
cool. Because like I think some people think it's like play money or like fake. Like, no, there's no way somebody would take this as a currency. And it's like, no, there are businesses. There is an economy that takes this
absolutely.
as currency, as a way to give you a service or provide you music or provide you a space. Like, and some people just don't believe that. Like, I
I don't
know.
understand. Well, there's not that many places, right? I mean, there's a few places, but this is why I believe we can really make it. Tulum's a very, very small place,
Okay.
right? And as I said, there's about 2 million people come here per year at the moment. It's soon to be 3, 4, 5 million a year because they've just opened an airport here and they've just opened a train line here, right?
Wow.
So I believe that we can make such an impact here, going back to last week's word, an impact here because basically I I'm friends with all of the clubs here, all the event organizers, right? So if a majority of these people are on board with accepting crypto as a currency, then when people come here, a lot of people probably come here that own a bit of crypto because it's just a speculative asset for now. But now they can actually use it as well. And it's not like, okay, if you're in London, yes, there's places that accept it, but it's few and far between because London's such a big place. Here, you're
Mhm.
going to be able to see it working everywhere, right? You're going to see how people have actually welcomed this into our community. And I believe we can have Tulum as one of the first kind of cities built on the blockchain. And I
Wow.
don't and I don't believe it's too far off either. So yeah, it's very exciting. Very, very exciting
That's awesome. I wanted to go back to your ayahuasca um,
experience.
experience.
So
You
I
had
do
you
want
had
to
brought
talk
up what?
a lot about ayahuasca, but I think
Yeah.
that I think we should leave that for a whole podcast episode just on ayahuasca.
Okay. Well, going back to the
Fine.
purpose, right? You were just saying
Yeah,
like your intentions, like setting that up. I just wanted to know one thing was
sure.
when you go in with that intention, was that a couple days in advance? Was it that day, or like you have to be thinking that like a whole week before you go to your ceremony, or is it like just when you get there, like okay, this is my intention is purpose, or like, or were you already
Yeah, I
thinking
see what you're
months?
saying. It really, whenever it comes to you, right? It came to me a few weeks before, at least. And then I would sit there with it. I do a lot of meditation. So it was coming up, constantly coming up for me, like at the forefront of my brain. Purpose, fulfillment, that type of thing. And then
Hmm?
when you go, what's the beautiful thing about Soltara? I've done ayahuasca plenty of places in the world, deep in the jungle in the Amazon rainforest. Soltara is in Costa Rica, beautiful retreat by the ocean. And you do the difference is with Soltara than some of the other places I've been. They've got Western facilitators there, so they understand psychology and stuff like that that they've learned in the Western world, and they kind of bridge the gap between ayahuasca and Westernized therapy. So
Okay.
we do sharing circles and things like that. So you might, do you know what I mean? After an ayahuasca experience, there's a lot of stuff to process. The next day we'll sit in a sharing circle and we'll share our experiences. Or before the ceremonies even start, we'll share what trauma, our intentions, anything you want to share with a group. And it becomes even the integration afterwards is very important. Like how do you integrate this, what you've learned there into your reality and things like that. And there's really a lot of aftercare by the facilitators and the people working at Sotara, and it's really, really awesome. Because if you're out in the jungle, it's amazing as well. Like it's a whole experience on its own.
Yeah,
Uh,
gotta be. Just
yeah,
that alone. It's
just
like,
that alone, you're going to
yeah.
learn a lot for sure. Um, so
So
yeah, this is the beauty actually about what we're doing about the Huddle Puddle is
yeah,
that look, I've got friends in crypto, got asset managers that understand asset management and crypto way better than I do, right? I've got poker players that understand poker better than I do, people in ayahuasca that understand that better than I do. So I don't make out to be an expert in any of these fields, right? But the beauty of this is I do know experts in these fields. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you want to know a bit more about ayahuasca, then I've got the right people to put you in touch with. Or if you want to know more about crypto, again, I've got the right people to put you in touch with, and so on and so forth. So the party people, the DJs of the world, to always understand what I'm talking about. But if you do want to understand, right, then as I said, I'm not the expert at all because this isn't about me or about me as an individual. This is about a collective coming together to educate each of us on whatever aspect of the huddle puddle you're interested in, you know. And yeah, it's very exciting. I'm getting a lot of amazing feedback actually from just putting up those list of books that I've read. People are
yeah.
coming back to me, oh, I read this, that was amazing, thank you so much, or listen to this, and so yeah, I'm getting amazing response from a lot of you out there. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful, and it's yeah, I get quite emotional a few times as well.
I love it. I mean, so on the purpose, so when after Burning Man, which is a 2 week experience, and you were living your
2 weeks
purpose,
for me because I go in to do the build and the breakdown. A week for a lot of people.
you go the whole time.
Well, it's basically you can go. A lot of people are there longer, so that the festival itself is for a week, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, you need to build the city. You need to build help. People need to build our camp, right? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, by the way. Anyone that goes to Burning Man that doesn't do the build, it doesn't just appear, right?
Yeah.
People have to actually do that. So I go in a few days early. This year didn't work out as planned because our RV got in a crash before it got to us, so we was a few days delayed. But yeah, yeah, so it's usually about 2 weeks for me.
Okay. So when you get back, do you feel like a withdrawal, or because now you have the huddle puddle, you've created that your purpose lasts longer. this is your purpose. Like you're
Uh,
continuing it past the Burning Man. It's past the experience you used to just have for just a week or two. Like
Man,
this,
you're absolutely right. This is,
yeah.
I cry my eyes out at the end of Burning Man every year. And I'll continue to do that because I'm with such an amazing group of people and an amazing community, right? And you're like, obviously, I don't get to see these people all the time, right? They live all over the world. And yes, it's kind of like almost like feel quite important at Burning Man, I guess. And now I feel like, yes, I'm taking it out of Burning Man. And yeah, I guess I never looked at it like that, actually. It's a good way of looking at it like that. Maybe
Yeah.
my withdrawals from Burning Man aren't going to be aren't going to be as
As much. I mean,
much. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
what I was thinking because I'm thinking because I was recently at like an entrepreneur retreat, and you don't realize how alone you feel when you're an entrepreneur, and then when you're with others that are like you're like, oh wow, all of us are feeling the same thing, and like we were like um helping hyping each other up and having this like great experience for a week, and then afterwards, and the guy who was leading it, he goes, you're gonna feel a withdrawal from all this energy because everybody's thinking the same way, everybody's there for one purpose. So like
Absolutely.
that energy was like helping everybody, all this creativity was coming, and
And
then
you
like
realize you're not alone, right? When that's
yeah,
happening.
exactly. And then when I got home, I felt exactly what he said. He goes, "You're gonna feel this weird withdrawal because you're no longer with that energy." And it's like now I see what you're doing is like you're continuing that energy. You're so that the purpose continues, and like then your high continues, and your meaning of being here continues. So I think it's a
Yeah.
great thing that the Huddle Puddle is doing. So
I know. Well, you're a big part of that thing, aren't you? So, like it or not, you're a big part of Huddle
yeah,
Puddle,
no,
man.
I love it. I think it's great that you. I don't know if you even realize that you're just continuing that experience, which is
No, you're absolutely right.
I
But
think it's
also it
fantastic.
kind of gives purpose. So the gifting culture that I've learned and the sort of serving people culture that I've learned at Burning Man, are now bringing it to Tulum. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of burners in Tulum that already understand what it's like at Burning Man, but there's a lot of people that don't. I'm kind of sort of passing on that culture and encouraging other people to join this culture now. And it kind of what a lot of people have said to me is, Joel, this is amazing because although their life's great, again, they haven't felt a sense of purpose. And Huddle Puddle has now given them a sense of purpose as well. Now it's not just the people here in the community in Tulum. It's even other people that aren't in Tulum at the moment. They can be a part of this. They can come on, do a podcast with us, and get their message out
Yeah,
to other people, right? And now it's given them a sense of purpose that somehow, well, they're really helping this cause, even whatever they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Even by posting about reading one of the books I've read, and do you know what I mean? It's kind of passing on a message, and that message is important, right? Because that message can have a great impact on the people around you. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely. So
all
just
acts, small
yeah,
acts of kindness, basically.
yeah, you're just basically paying it forward. It's gonna all of a sudden keep building and building, and then we're gonna go from like 100 people to helping 100,000 people that much faster, that much quicker, and giving so
Exactly.
many more people reasons and purpose for being here, or purpose for doing something. Um, and I love it. I think it's
Exactly right.
fantastic, and I love this word. I love today's word. And let's wrap up. You got anything else
Okay.
you wanna?
No, no, we've got to wrap up anyway. Got an Arsenal game to watch. I'm a Arsenal fan.
Oh,
But one of the things that's beautiful actually is Mikel Arteta. It says talks about trusting the process, right? It's taken a while for them to build a sort of a community spirit with the fans, can really feel connected to the team right now. And it's kind of essentially with the Huddle Puddle as well. It's going to take time to get this message out to people, but trust the process. It's going to play out a lot more with listening to this podcast now. It's hard to see exactly what we're trying to do on Instagram, but trust the process. Yeah, you'll receive the message loud and clear.
definitely one step at a time.
One step at a time. Well,
All
thank
right,
you,
man.
Manny. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Enjoy your game.
Cheers, buddy. Talk
Go
to you
Arsenal.
soon.
Cheers.
Bye.